And this is the third part of our tutorial for today. As you can see, our entire little configuration here is up and running. All the routers have connectivity between each other. But router 1 cannot communicate with router 2 because there are no routing protocols in place. They can both talk to router 0 because they're directly connected to each other and know about each other's networks. Router 0 knows about the two networks that it's connected to. But router 2 and router 1 do not know about these other networks. To allow them to communicate with each other, we have to configure something called a routing protocol. Today we're just going to learn how to configure a basic routing information protocol, or RIP. To get started, let me bring up router 0. Again, we're going to start from the beginning. Basically enable it, and when you're in Dallas #, I have to go into global config mode to be able to configure our routing protocol. Now, to be able to configure RIP, basically you have to use the router command space RIP, and it's going to take us into the config-router mode, which allows us to configure RIP routing. To be able to configure routing, these are the commands that are available under the config-router for RIP. Basically, the only thing we're concerned with today is using the network command. And what the network command does is tells RIP, the routing protocol, what networks it needs to advertise to other routers so that they can communicate with each other and learn about each other. So basically, since router 0 is connected to both networks, it needs to be able to advertise out both networks. So we're going to type the network command in, and we're going to use the network addresses that we are connected to, which is 10.0.0.0, and we're also connected to the 11.0.0.0 network. Basically, that's simple as that. RIP is a very simple protocol. And now we just need to configure router 2. Basically, same concept. Just go into global configuration, type in router RIP, type in the network command 11.0.0.0, hit enter, and basically now we're going to be able to, in a second, verify connectivity as soon as I bring up Miami. I'm going to global configuration mode, and we're going to go into router RIP. Oops, I'm sorry, we're in global configuration. Router RIP, and we're going to do the network statements. 10.0.0.0. We're going to hit enter. And now, when we issue the show IP route command, it should allow us to see our routing table. And whoops, I'm sorry, I made a mistake on here. Let me go back and fix it. I entered the wrong network. Basically, if you make this mistake in the future, all you have to do is type in the no network command and enter the network address, and then just change your statements. Go back to router 1, sorry, router 2. Okay, now when we issue the show IP route command, as you can see, we have one directly connected route, which is our connection to router 0, which our router automatically knows about, and we have one route using RIP. And here's basically the information, and we know it's RIP because it has an R as the code. As you can see, R stands for RIP. And you can see the network address, you can see the metric, you can see what is connected via, and you can see what interface is connected through. So basically now, to prove that we can speak to the other router, we're going to try a basic ping test. We're going to say ping 11.0.0.2, hit enter, and there you go. we can speak to both routers on the 11 network, which is router 0 on its other interface, and router 1. So as you can see, configuring basic routing is a very simple task. Of course, it grows more complex as you use other protocols such as OSPF or IGRP or EIGRP. Basically, that's about it for this tutorial, guys. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more tutorials in the future.